Hello and welcome back to the channel. Motionz here. And again, we have an interesting topic that we have to talk about. And this is also because we had a member who brought up a question that is quite relevant. And I've been meaning to actually do a video about it to also answer questions from other community members in the past who ask the same question. Now, in this episode, I divided it into 4 parts. Now, for the first part, we will tackle what exactly does it mean when you get a denial letter and it will say that you have reached your maximum credit limit with Navy Federal, because it can be confusing sometimes because it is blended with other factors that Navy Federal would state in your denial letter why they denied your request, either for a credit card or a credit limit increase. Now, for the second section of this video, we will talk about when does this usually happen. So we will talk about that briefly. Now, number 3 is that we will discuss the reasons why you may have gotten this kind of reason from Navy Federal why you got denied or what factors affected their decision. And number 4 is very important because we will discuss what can you do about it, okay? And not just what you can do about it in general, but when it happens that was it for a denial for a credit limit increase, a credit card, or maybe a personal loan or an auto loan, because there's a difference in those products that you applied for and you got denied. So for number 1, when you get that dreaded denial letter from Navy Federal and you read that it says you have reached your maximum credit limit, what does it really mean? Now, don't be alarmed. And I know that some members were thinking that this is basically what they can get from Navy Federal for a lifetime, okay? Don't worry about it because guess what? It is only for that specific request, okay? So there's still hope to improve on it. And when they denied you and they gave you this specific statement, it just means that it only applies for that particular time. And this even happened to me every time I ask for a credit limit increase, because I have done credit limit increase requests for about 3 times now. And every time I actually got this type of an answer in a denial letter. They approved me for the $8,000 credit limit increase, but they denied the $10,000 request that I asked for. And I am sure that many of you have experienced this, especially if you have done credit limit increase requests. And if you have, if you can please write in the comment section if you have seen this kind of a statement from your denial letter when you asked for $25,000 and they only gave you $8,000. So it is a standard response from Navy Federal because basically they are denying your request. So they have, by law, they have to send you a denial request and why. So this is usually the blanket reason why you would see that on your denial letter. Number 2, what are the instances where you get this kind of a response from Navy Federal? When do we usually get this kind of a statement or a denial letter from Navy Federal? It can happen when you request for a first credit card, a second credit card, or a third credit card. Now, it also happens when you ask for a credit limit increase. Usually happens a lot, okay? Now, this also happens when you ask for a personal loan or a car loan or an auto loan. Now, if you have had any of these experiences, please share that below. And welcome to our new subscribers, by the way. I really appreciate you being here. And of course, to everybody who has followed this channel for a long time, I do appreciate that very much. And just a quick acknowledgement for our viewers from these top states, okay? We have Texas, Florida, New York, California, Georgia, North Carolina, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, Ohio, Tennessee, Nevada, Michigan, and Alabama. Thank you for watching. And if you are watching from whichever state, I would like to know that. If you can please state that in a comment. But I appreciate you whichever state you're coming from and watching this video and following us. And for the top cities where our viewers are coming from and subscribers, we have New York, Atlanta, LA, Houston, Chicago, Dallas, Philadelphia, Las Vegas, Charlotte, Baltimore, Orlando, San Francisco, and London. Those are the top cities. And to acknowledge our international viewers, please say hi and hello in the comment section so I would know where you're coming from. But the top countries are Australia, Canada, Sweden, Germany, Spain, UK, and Russia, and
So
India.
just to thank you all for supporting this channel.
So, anyway, going to number three, the reasons why you may be getting this kind of a statement or a denial from Navy Federal. Number one reason is that you may have had a lower credit score, and that's very common with any credit card application or credit limit increase application. Now, next is you may have had a derogatory item on your credit profile or your credit report. Next, you may have had late payments, not just with any other credit cards, but with Navy Federal also. So that can happen. So, next is you may not have had enough use of Navy Federal products. And this is very common for new members because they ask for a credit card but has not really done so much with their account. So I've had videos that explains that. But anyway, make sure that you are using Navy Federal products. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but just use some of the easy ones, okay? Now, next is high utilization. Of course, when you have high utilization, Navy Federal or any credit card company will be hesitant in giving you another credit card or a credit limit increase, okay? So another reason is a recent bankruptcy. Okay. Now, sometimes if you have filed for bankruptcy, of course, they would be a little iffy about touching you with a 10-foot pole. Okay. Now, another reason is you may already have three cards with Navy Federal. And I know this for one thing because we had a community member who shared that just to give it a try, he applied for another credit card. And of course, he was denied because he already had three. And as we know, Navy Federal only grants a maximum of three credit cards, okay, for a Navy Federal member. Now, the next one is you may also get denied, even if you have a high credit score, you have low utilization, excellent credit score, but you were denied and you were given this reaching the maximum credit limit increase response from Navy Federal. And the reason being is that you may be short of the 91.3 rule or the 6-month rule for a second credit limit increase with Navy Federal. So just remember that. So, number four, what can you do about it? Okay, when you get this kind of a denial letter from Navy Federal. Now, for those who were asking for a credit limit increase and asked for 20 grand and was only given 8K, then you don't have to worry about anything because it's just a standard. And like I said, like a blanket response, that they will only give you a maximum of $8,000. You already got your $8,000, so you are good. Okay, you're ready for the next one. Now, in general, what can you do when you do get denied and then you get the statement? Okay, first, lower your utilization. Okay, now ideally with Navy Federal, it is known that you have to stay under 30%. If you can stay lower, even better, because you increase your chances for higher credit limits. Okay, now another thing you can do is that use more of Navy Federal products. Okay, work on that so you can prepare for the next request that you will do with Navy Federal. Okay, now when I say about Navy Federal products, let's say direct deposit, easy certificates, save first account, just open those accounts to add to your profile. Now you can do other things with that, but basically I try to keep it simple because with my journey, my account with Navy Federal, I started out with the very, very basic things, and I still got approved for the high limits and the maximum limits that Navy Federal would actually grant. So, another thing that you can do is do a pledge loan. Now, when you do a pledge loan, I would also recommend that you try to get the maximum term that you can afford because it increases your reporting time. That account will be reporting to your credit profile, personal credit profile. And that way it can boost your personal credit, but also your profile with Navy Federal. If you were denied for a credit card, here's what you do. You wait 3 months. And after that, do another pre-qualification. But of course, while waiting, do those things that would actually improve your personal credit score, like the things that I mentioned, like the lowering of the utilization, using more of Navy Federal products, doing the easy certificates or Save First account, then direct deposit, and doing a pledge loan. Now, wait for 3 months, then do another pre-qualification and see if you qualified for any of the unsecured credit cards or the card that you wanted to have. Now, what I know that there is a lot of controversy about the Navy Federal pre-qualification, but it doesn't matter. At least it is there as a guideline. Just make sure you do the pre-qualification before you do any application of any of the Navy Federal credit cards. That way, it just gives you an idea which credit cards you qualify for. And like I said, many say that it is very inconsistent, but it doesn't matter. Just go through the process still, so you will know. Now, if you ask for a credit limit increase and you were not granted by Navy Federal, not any amount at all, that means you have to go back to the basics and improve your personal credit profile, like the previous ones I mentioned. Now, if you were denied because you missed a few days of the 91.3 or the 91 days and 3 billing statements, or the 6 months for a second credit limit increase, then just wait a few days or a few weeks, depending on how many more days you needed to go before you can request and before you can complete that 91 days and 3 complete billing statements. Then just wait for that. Make sure that you qualified for that, you reach those days. And once you have completed the 91 days, 3 complete billing statements, or exactly 6 months for a second credit limit increase, you don't have to wait longer. You can actually apply for that once you have completed that. And we have had members who were short 2 days and they were denied. So this person had a lot of initiative and actually called Navy Federal to ask for advice. And what he was told is that just wait a few more days until that was completed. And guess what? He was approved. If your denial was for a personal loan or an auto loan, and we very much know that those are higher amounts loans, okay? Now, what you do is different, okay? Because remember, both loans are a hard pull, so it will affect your personal credit profile. So you are the best judge of how much your tolerance is for the exposure for those hard inquiries, okay? So if you think that you only have a few and you can try again in 6 months, then you can do that. It's all up to you. That's your decision. But the key thing to remember is that while waiting for that, in those 6 months or a year, okay, now sometimes you may be able to get that earlier as long as you work on these specific things, okay? Now, if you already have credit cards with Navy Federal or with other lending institutions, manage that very well. Keep your utilization low, or let's say for the first few months, you can still go on that high utilization, but when you are ready to apply for a personal loan or an auto loan, make sure that utilization is down, okay? Make sure that once you try to get that loan, they can see that your utilization is low. That would help you so much. Now, next, on-time payments. Make sure that you are doing on-time payments because that really improves your credit score. That is a big aspect of your credit score. Or before you reapply for those, do a high amount pledge loan, the most that you can handle, either the 12 months, 36 months, or the 24 months, okay? Because this will show Navy Federal how you are with an installment loan. Do that, do that pledge loan, and it will really boost your chances for those two. Now, when you encounter this hurdle, it's not the end of the world. Just do what you need to do and take action so your chances will improve. And next time when you ask for any loans or any credit cards from Navy Federal or any lending institutions, you have already made the right moves and strategies to boost your personal credit profile and, of course, your profile with your institution. So again, action brings results. No one else can fix your personal credit profile or your relationship with Navy Federal, it's really only up to you. And once you show that effort, you get rewarded and you will see results. So again, thank you for watching, and wherever you are, if you can share that below, I would appreciate it very much. This is Motionz Biz from Florida. It's 79 degrees here at the moment. Have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day.